Imagine you are the last person on Earth. Not in a film, not in a story. In reality, the streets are empty, the fields are empty, the forests are empty. Every direction you look, silence. No voices, no footsteps, no fire in the distance. Just you. Now imagine that feeling is not a nightmare. It almost happened. 930,000 years ago, the human species came so close to extinction that scientists who study our DNA describe what they found as almost unbelievable. At one point in our ancient past, the entire human population on Earth collapsed to approximately 1,280 individuals. Not 1,280 in one country. Not 1,280 in one region. 1,280 human beings. Alive. On the entire planet. And nobody knew. For 117,000 years, humanity teetered on the edge of complete and total erasure. And then, somehow, we survived. This is that story. To understand how close we came, you need to understand what 1,280 people actually looks like. It is roughly the size of a small village. A single school. A large apartment building. Spread across the entire surface of the Earth. For perspective, scientists estimate there are more individual emperor penguins alive today than there were human beings alive during the worst of this collapse. There were more individual wild tigers in the world just 50 years ago than there were humans alive 900,000 years ago. We were not just endangered. By any modern scientific standard, we were a species on the verge of being erased from existence entirely. The fossil record from this period is almost completely empty. Archaeologists digging through layers of ancient Earth from this era find almost nothing. No bones, no tools, no traces of fire, no signs of habitation. It is as if humanity simply stopped existing. And in a way, it almost did. Scientists call what happened a population bottleneck. The technical term sounds clean and scientific. The reality was anything but something, and researchers are still debating exactly what began killing humans faster than they could reproduce. The leading theories are terrifying in their simplicity. A dramatic and sustained climate shift plunged large parts of the Earth into extreme cold, destroying the ecosystems that human ancestors depended on for food. Droughts turned rivers into dust. Forests collapsed. The animals that early humans hunted disappeared or migrated to regions beyond reach. Food became so scarce that surviving even a single winter likely required levels of physical endurance, intelligence, and cooperation that most modern humans could not imagine. And through all of this, for 117,000 years, the number of humans on Earth hovered around that same terrifying figure. Roughly 1,280. Generation after generation after generation. Born into a dying world. Fighting simply to exist for one more season. Think about what that means for the people alive during this time. They had no way of knowing what was happening. They had no concept of extinction. They did not know that their species had once been larger, more widespread, more numerous. They only knew what they could see. And what they could see was a world that was slowly, quietly emptying. Other groups that they might have encountered before were gone. Familiar hunting grounds that had once provided food were barren. Seasonal camps that had been used for generations were suddenly abandoned, because the people who used them were dead. The world was getting quieter, and quieter, and quieter, and they had no way to understand why. Imagine being a child during this period. You grow up in a group of perhaps 30 people. That is your entire world. Those 30 people are everyone you have ever known, everyone you will ever know, everyone who will ever know you. And one by one, slowly, over years, the group gets smaller. An illness takes 3. A harsh winter takes 2 more. A hunt goes wrong and another is lost. You watch the circle around the fire grow smaller and smaller. And there is no one coming. No rescue. No explanation. Only the cold, and the dark, and the shrinking circle of faces you know by heart. And yet, somehow, against odds that no statistician would have bet on, a small group of human ancestors survived. Scientists studying ancient DNA found evidence that the survivors clustered around coastal regions in what is now Africa, where the ocean provided shellfish and the land provided roots and tubers that other species could not easily access. They were not the strongest humans alive during this period. They were simply the ones who happened to be in the right place. The ones whose particular location offered just enough food, just enough shelter, just enough warmth to make it through one more year. And then another, for 117,000 years. What came out of that bottleneck was something extraordinary. Because when a population is reduced to such a small number and then survives and expands, the genetic legacy of those survivors becomes the genetic legacy of everyone. Every human being alive on Earth today, all 8 billion of us, carries DNA that traces back to that tiny group of survivors. Every language ever spoken, every civilization ever built, every piece of art ever created, every scientific discovery ever made, every war ever fought, every love story ever lived. All of it descended from those 1,280 people who refused to disappear. The bottleneck also left its mark on us in ways that science is only beginning to understand. The extreme reduction in genetic diversity during those 117,000 years may explain certain patterns in human immunity, certain shared vulnerabilities to disease, certain psychological traits that appear universally across all human cultures, the deep need for community, the extreme sensitivity to social rejection, the intense fear of being alone. When your entire species spends 100,000 years on the edge of extinction, the survivors who make it through are the ones who were most desperately, most intensely committed to keeping the group together. Evolution does not forget that lesson. So the next time you sit in a crowd and still feel lonely, the next time you feel that inexplicable fear in the dark, the next time you feel the desperate need to belong to something, to be part of something, to not be left behind, understand where that feeling comes from. It comes from 117,000 years of humans on the edge of the void. It comes from every ancestor who survived when they should not have. It comes from the oldest fear in human history, not the fear of dying, but the fear of disappearing, of being the last one, of watching the fire go out and knowing that no one is coming to relight it. You are here because they did not give up. Because somewhere in Africa, 1,280 people looked at the emptying world around them and chose to stay alive one more day. And then one more, and then one more, until the world slowly, impossibly, began to fill again. You are the end of that story, and the beginning of the next one.